Hey guys, this is Benny Ricciardi with RotoCurve.com, and I'm here with our DraftKings NBA video for Monday, December 7th. There's a 9-game slate for Monday night, which is more than we usually see. But to be honest with you, after looking at some of the spreads and looking at the totals in some of these games, it's not the greatest 9-game slate that we've ever had. There's really two games that stand out to me. One of those games is going to be the Chicago Bulls and the Phoenix Suns. The game is in Phoenix. It's got a 204-point total. The Bulls are favored by 6, so it's not that bad. It's actually kind of close. We should get a chance to see full run for most of the starters in this game. There are a couple guys in this game who I would be looking at. Pau Gasol has been putting up 40 fantasy points per game lately. His price is $7,500, so he's right in that sweet spot where he's getting you about 5 to 6 times value. Definitely a solid cash game play for me. Might be lacking a little bit in the upside for a tournament, but he has put up some big games lately, so I think you can even roll him out in that format if you wanted to. The other guy on his team, the pick and roll has been working pretty well for them, so I also think you can use Derrick Rose because you have Rose and Gasol who have been running that pick and roll so well, lately in the last couple games. I think those could be the two guys who have the best value here for me. Rose is $6,400. He's probably another guy that I might be looking to pay up for in certain spots. The only other game that really makes sense for me to target here is the Pelicans and the Celtics going up against each other. New Orleans has some horrible point guard defense all season long, so Isaiah Thomas, IT2, is definitely somebody that we got to look at and put in play. The $7,700 price tag is a little bit concerning. It's getting a little bit high, but the guy's been putting up 40 fantasy points a game, so at 40 fantasy points a game for below $8,000, he's still a pretty good bet. It's not the greatest upside that we'd like to see overall, but I think he can still get it done, especially against a team that is so bad at guarding point guards to begin with. On the other side of that game, you got Anthony Davis going up against a Boston front court that, really isn't scaring anybody, to be honest with you. You're going to have guys like Sullinger and Olynyk trying to guard, Anthony Davis. You do have David Lee out, so I do think Sullinger will see a lot of minutes, but either way, I don't think there's anybody on the Celtics team that's going to be able to slow Davis down. This is a game with a 214 total. It's only a 1-point spread. It should be back and forth. It should stay close, and we should get full run out of all the starters here. So I do think Anthony Davis is a solid option. I also like Tyreke Evans at only $7,100 in this game. Evans thrives in these fast-paced, up-and-down kind of games. That's, pretty much what he's built for. Give him the ball, get him out in space, let him get to the, let him drive and get the ball to the rim. So I think this is going to be a quality start for not only Davis, not only Tyreke, but also IT2. So I do think that that's the game that you really, really want to target, in order to get your fantasy goodness tonight. Now, we do have a lot of guys in that mid-range that I wanted to talk about. Quite a few of these guys are people who I think are, solid, if not spectacular starts tonight. You got guys like John Lair and Alex Len on the Phoenix Suns. Again, this is a game that we really like. There's no Tyson Chandler this game. Markieff Morris is still banged up, so he's still coming basically off the bench and only playing like 20 to 25 minutes. So I think both Lair and Len are guys that you can look at 44 and 4,200. I think that they're going to be guys that I use to kind of round out my roster with some of the studs that we mentioned. You also got Cody Zeller at 4,400. Big Al Jefferson is out. Zeller's been playing about 30 minutes a game. His price is only 4,400. He's been putting up numbers in the 20s. So I don't think he has huge upside, but I definitely think he's a safe option you can look at today. Same goes for Wes Matthews at 4,800. That price is just a little too cheap on Matthews. His minutes have been up for a little while now, but he's starting to play better. He's starting to get back to the guy we remembered him being last year in Portland. He put up 36 real-life points on his way to like 49 fantasy points in his last game out. So if you can get a guy that, actually I think he had over 50 because he was only like 44 or 4,500, and I think somebody told me he went 11 times value. So if you can get one of these guys at like 45, 4,800, again, you don't even need him to go 10 times value. If he can get you 30 fantasy points, he's going to be 6 or 7 times value and be one of the best value options you can put in your roster on the day. Next guy I want to talk about, let's see, we talked about Joseph, talked about Zeller, talked about Matthews. Oh, the last guy I want to talk about is Gary Neal. Now, I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but one of the big news items on the day is John Wall went down late in that game yesterday and didn't return. So there's a good chance that Wall could sit out today. If Wall sits out, you're probably going to have Gary Neal be the guy who picks up the most extra minutes for Washington. Neal is only 3,300. He picked up a bunch of those minutes last time out and went like 8 to 10 times value. So this is a guy that can easily get you 25 to 30 fantasy points if he's going to be starting and playing 30 minutes. If you can get him at only 3,300, he's a great guy to use to round out your rosters and also save you that salary so you can go up and get the pairing of Isaiah Thomas and Tyreek Evans and Anthony Davis and Pau Gasol. To get all those guys in your lineup, you're going to need a couple cheap options. And if Wall is out, I think Gary Neal is probably my favorite one of those cheap options to take a look at. So that pretty much wraps it up for our DraftKings NBA video. Thank you guys for joining us over here at RotoCurve.com. And as always, stay classy, DFS.